Hey guys, I'm going to be going back to Osta and showing not specifically a budget clear, but a way to do a clear on this guy going to 5 turns. A lot of people are having problems dealing with like the turn 1 attacks. You know, they're like getting wiped out, not knowing what's going on. So I'm going to show how to survive the boss, and you can tailor this to adjust it for a slower clear, and I'll be posting more high score clears later. But for now, this is a budget run, so we are going to level 99, but we are not using any modifiers. This is just for a kill. So this is the team we're going to use. We're going to use Arden to attempt to one-shot the boss. It may or may not work. I don't know. I hope he is. Now, Arden is geared pretty well, to be fair. He's going to be our only DPS unit. We'll get to the base form in a minute. The shift form doesn't need any survivability. We're going to just shift on the kill turn, or the turn he jumps. So ignore his survivability and all that. Now we are using, like I said, a really good gear on Arden for the most part. Yeah, we're using really good gear on Arden. He's got a lot of jump, 800 jump, 275 dragon, and 125 reaper. So there we go. Now hopefully he can OTK the boss on turn 5. We're going to try it. Now the rest of the team, on any form that is going to be active outside the kill turn, they need to be fully status immune from gear, and all the non-provokers need 100% to wind and dark resist, or a combined 100%. You don't need 100%. To each. Like, for example, 50 to wind and 150 to dark is fine, or 20 dark and 180 wind. Just get a combined total of 200 wind and dark. But 100 to each is just the easier way to do it. So there's Bart's, just his gear. Shift form, same thing. He's only here to imbue, imperil, and amplify. Make sure no one is using elemental weapons, by the way, in their in the form that they're not going to be killing the boss in, if it makes sense. Athena is here for status immunity. You need someone to buff status immunity for the party, preferably someone that can cure status immunity as well. We're going to use Athena. She's going to be the healer, and she's going to do general mitigation for the party. So there we go. Again, 200 combined wind and dark. So there we go. And status immunity. We're not using the shift. Aerith is for magical mitigation and barriers. Pretty much it. You can obviously drop her for more DPS, but this is a budget run. We're going for survivability. This is the old Neovision's Aerith. Again, just wind and dark and status immunity. And try to gear the team in good spirit and HP as well. I didn't give her a card, but it doesn't really matter. She has really high spirit. Gilgamesh in the shift form, only one that matters. He's going to be our passive provoker. Now, the provoker needs a specialized build. They need to be from gear 150 to fire and earth, and then preferably 150 to wind and dark as well, and also full status immunity. That's a little tricky to build. I realize that, especially passive provoke. So here's Gilgamesh's build. We're not using any STMRs on him, except for the free one that was given. But yeah, there we go. And then Yoshikiri's card for status immunity. He's going to be the breaker and support chainer. Elena in the base form. Now we're not going to shift to the base form until the kill turn, so we don't got to worry about the base form's resistances. So she's pure DPS. Kind of a budget build here. There we go. There's the card. She's got 225 dragon, 150 reaper. Like I said, kind of a budget build, but she's support. Shift form just has the 100 wind, dark, and status immunity, and some bulk. Again, HP and spirit. There we go. And she's going to be a support unit. We'll explain her more when we get into the fight. And there's Arden. Okay, so let me go ahead and get into the fight and try to explain it as we go along. So the boss is going to ambush with an AoE break. So we're going to deal with that in a second. Wait for this to finish. Okay, so AoE break, corrosive mist. It also raises the boss's morale a little bit. Okay, so we're going to use Elena on turn 1 to double. We're going to Protection of the Azure and Legendary Heroine. Alright, there we go. We're going to use, let's see, the boss is going to AoE dispel our team as well as himself on this turn, so we don't really need to do too much. Gilgamesh is just going to... We're just going to break the boss. That's all that really matters. Bart's on this turn can just do nothing. Let's see. Fina... We're going to start getting morale with Fina. So Fina will do... Let's see. Divine Veil and Blooming Lotus for the morale. Aerith will do... Let's see here. Let's do Mental and Physical Liberation. Arden, we don't want to guard, so Arden will just punch, and Bart's will just punch. Don't guard. Alright, and we're not using elemental weapons. So, because we have 100 wind and dark on everyone, and then the provoker is 150 to those, as well as also fire and earth resist, we took no damage there, so there we go, very nice. Now, he was paralyzed and confused. Aerith countered or auto-cured that. Otherwise, we would have cured it with Fina. Now, notice the boss cured all his breaks and put up unremovable buffs. Also dispelled our entire team. So, yeah, and we still have the imperils and all. Okay, so this turn, we're going to use Elena to triple. We're going to Refraction to give us a 100 resist all buff. And then we're just going to do some morale fill skills. Fina will just reload and do her immunity buffs. Aerith is going to do... where is her barrier skill? Alright, magical mitigation. Oh, it's only a single target barrier? Ooh, I didn't know that. I thought it was AoE barrier. Uh-oh. It's fine. We actually don't need barrier yet. We're going to do that, and we're going to do... let's do just a heal. Alright, I didn't actually plan out my turns. We can go ahead and do the base form LB on Arden here for the Sword in Peril. The boss is not going to dispel anymore as long as you... Whoop, why is that turned on? The boss is not going to dispel anymore as long as we do this correctly, and which we're going to. Alright, Gilgamesh will go ahead and break the boss. And we don't really need to imperil yet. We'll just break the boss. We're not using elements. Alright, break the boss. Bart's... We don't want to guard. We'll just use Bart's to do some stuff. There we go. Alright, we're going to kill on turn 5, by the way. Alright, so the morale is being pushed up. Perfect. Alright, so we're going to jump on turn 4. So I got to do this correctly. Okay, so Bart's going to go ahead and shift on this turn. And we're going to just go ahead and we'll just amplify. Bart's is not going to attack on the kill turn. So we can, yeah, we can just amplify. Alright. Let's see. Arden. I don't want to shift him, so we're not gonna do his modifier boost. Doesn't really matter that much. We'll go ahead and do this. Trying to think the best way to do this. Elena will this, and we're going to Blessing of the Azure to cure those breaks. Aerith is going to, let's see here. Let's Mental Liberation. Okay, we don't have the damage over time yet, so we don't need to worry about barriers yet. We're gonna do barriers in a little bit. I don't know which one is our good barrier. Oh, there's the barrier. Okay. Let's just Physical Liberation as well. Fina can repeat this for the morale. And Gilgamesh can... Let's go ahead and break. Let's start imperiling. And we'll just break again. It's fine. Alright. And again, we have lots of resistance and immunities. We're good. Here's Pernicious Breath. Pernicious Breath, number 2, is an AoE damage over time. It's a magical base damage over time, so your spirit and magical mitigation matter. So we're going to take damage this turn. So we're going to use Fina to give us general mitigation, and then we'll just do Divine Veil again, just for the resistances. Let's go ahead and use Bart's to AoE imbue Wind. We're going to shift our Arden, and we're going to jump, but not yet. Don't jump yet. Let's see. Elena is going to just morale, and doesn't really matter what else. Yeah. All right. Aerith is going to AoE barrier, and we will magic mitigate. Let's see. Gilgamesh can just reload here to imperil. Alright, and Arden can jump. Alright, Arden might get hit really hard from the damage over time, but he's in the air. He can't die in the air. Oh, he didn't even die. He's fine. Yeah, the damage over time is not super dangerous. Anyway, so there we go. And now we're going to drop and try to kill the boss. Okay, so we're going to shift Elena back to the base form. Gilgamesh is going to triple Bolting Strike. Now, Bolting Strike is naturally light element, so we imperiled last turn, so it's going to hurt. But you don't want to do that until the kill turn, because we don't want to hit the boss with elements outside of the kill rounds. And there we go. We can just, I should have geared Bart's for damage. We'll just go ahead and trust Bart's, and he's, oh, we can't even shift anyway. Yeah, okay, so ignore that. So let's go ahead and deal some damage here. Or deal some chaining, I should say. And we will drop. And, yeah, there we go. So, there was the kill. Now, we didn't go for a high score or anything, so we didn't worry about, like, chain score. We didn't worry about big damage. This was just, like, a sort of budget clear to show you how to survive the boss. So, to recap, I'll recap in a second. I can't show the damage breakdown because, yeah. Well, Arden did a lot of it, and then Elena did a lot as well. So anyway, so just a reminder for how to survive. Okay, so you want on the entire party in the form that is going to be active during the main fight, a combined 200% to wind and dark. You can combine that in any order you want. So, you know, mix and match, 100 to each, 150 to one, 50 to the other, whatever. The provoker wants 150 to fire and earth. He needs 150 to both, so that one you cannot mix and match. He needs 150 to both fire and earth on the provoker. The whole team needs status immunity from gear. You also need a status immunity buff active at all turns. The boss will AoE dispel you on turn 1, so reapply your immunity buff on turn 2. Turn 1 is the only AoE dispel. The boss will cure all his debuffs on turn 1, so make sure you break him again on turn 2. Turn 3, the damage over time effect goes out, so make sure you've got good spirit and good general and magical mitigation, as well as good breaks on the boss to not die to the damage over time, which is going to start dealing damage on your turn 4. At the end of your turn 4, you'll take damage from the damage over time effect. And if you go longer, this fight is basically the same. He's going to put a stronger damage over time on turn 6, and an even stronger one again on turn 9. So, you know, keep in mind, if you don't kill by turn 10, it gets a lot trickier. Starting on turn 10 and beyond, the boss would do a lot more stuff. We're not going to cover that because you want to always kill by turn 10. So, there you go. There was like the easy, slower clear of Osta. Now I'm going to go back to trying to figure out a high score run. See you later.